All right, so I decided to share something with you guys. So I recently walked away from a deal, from something business wise, right? And I was talking to some relatives of mine, a couple of associates, and they were like, "I'm stupid." They didn't say I'm stupid, but in other words, that's pretty much what they're saying. That I shouldn't walk away, and that I should fight for this deal, and that I should, just they felt more I was being that I'm slacking a little bit. They were saying stuff like relatives of mine were saying like I'm slacking, like I don't care, like I'm giving up, I'm throwing in the towel. It was just more like that, like I'm giving up. But but I want to say I decided to put this video up on my YouTube channel to share something with you guys, right? Because there's wisdom to be found in every aspect of life, multifaceted. Wisdom is multifaceted. You can find it in various areas. And let me tell you something, folks. What is for you can't nobody take. I'm gonna say that again and let this really sink in. What is for you can't nobody take it, and can't nobody stop it. What is for you cannot be stopped, and what is for you cannot be taken. What is yours cannot be taken, meaning you possess it. It cannot be taken. What is for you, meaning that it's to come, it's future. It has not manifested yet. It will be, cannot be stopped. So what is in your possession that's yours cannot be taken, and what is to come to you, to manifest to you, that will be, cannot be stopped. That must. I hope you can gestate that, digest it, and gestate that, folks. I'm not going to fight with people or argue with people about things that I know it's not in alignment with God's will for my life. Sometimes I can do things on my own will, get some success, get some rewards, but it wasn't God's divine will for my life. Sometimes we moving in our own will. Most of the times, a lot of the times, we're moving in our own will. And I'm not condemning that. There's nothing wrong with that. Here's the only problem with that. When your will is not in alignment with God's will, then you encounter what I'm currently encountering. And a lot of times when we're fighting for our will to be done, whether it's a business deal, a relationship, whatever, if the universe is pushing back or pulling away that which you're fighting to keep or to hold on to, that's where bitterness is gonna that's going to be the soil. That's going to serve as the blueprint, the foundation, the structure, the skeleton. It's going to serve as the framework for bitterness to grow. It's going to serve as the soil for resentment. It's going to serve as the soil for anger, the soil for violence. There's going to be so much. There's going to be an infinite outcome of negative consequences and rippled effects of you trying to hold what is not yours, what is not God's divine will for your life. Folks, we don't run the show. We think we run the show. We do not run the show. Surrendering your will to God's will is how you run the show. If we can say we're running the show, we don't. But if we want to say we're running the show, you surrendering your will to God's will for your life is as much as control of the show you might have or think you have, because it's all an illusion. But if you want to live in the illusion and believe you're running the show, your only lever of control in this thing we call life is surrendering your will to God's will for your life. If you surrender your will, then you are pulling the lever. You're in somewhat control. But then again, it's oxymoronic. It's what you call paradoxical, because if you're surrendering your will, then you're giving up. You're yielding to God to control it. So you're technically not in control. But just the act of surrendering, if you do want to feel you have some control, that's your control right there. Saying, God, you know what? I did this on my own. I realized that, here's the thing. I was reading in First Chronicles. I believe it's First Chronicles. I think it was chapter 12, verse 32, where I think it was the Levites. It was the different tribes of Israel were coming to meet David, and it was a group. I believe it was the Levites or the Ammonites or the Danites. I forgot what group of Israel it was, but it said these men. Right, you had the warriors that was coming to David. You had men who were skilled in war. You had men who were skilled in music, right? You had the different group of men of Israel. They were all skilled in particular things, but it was a group that was coming to David and says, these men, they were skilled in understanding the times and therefore knew what Israel should do. That resonated with me, because understanding the times will allow you to know what to do when you're at a crossroads, or when you're at a point of bewilderment or any kind of profound confusion. Being able to read the times, understanding the times, and that simply means looking at the world, looking at your surrounding, your environment, reading the room, knowing the universe, what the universe is saying, what God is saying through the universe, right? When you can understand the times, you'll know what to do. So to my relatives, my associates who think I'm walking away, I'm giving up, no such thing. Let me tell you something. There's no such thing as coincidence. There's no such thing as luck. There's no such thing as chance, serendipity, or just happenstance, randomness. Everything has a meticulous, skillful, scholastic, artistic design. Everything is by design. There's no such thing as chance and randomness. Randomness and chance is the words that we use to explain that which we can't understand or comprehend. But when you're moving in the spirit realm, you understand what I'm saying? When you're moving, when you're ascending, when you're on your spiritual ascension, right? When you have access to higher spiritual guidance, you'll know that this is not, when things are happening, you'll know why. And you'll know who is causing these things to happen. Why? You'll know the why, you'll know the who, you'll know the what, where, when. So again, me bowing out gracefully is not giving up. It's me knowing, okay, you know what? This is not the direction God wants me to go in. So I could walk away from a deal. I could walk away from things that others would lose their mind over. Others would probably kill you over. I could walk away because it's not a loss, it's a gain. There's never losses. It's only lessons that I learn and gains. Peace.